2 men and 1 woman imprisoned on a deserted island. 2 men because they want to dominate, they kill each other, morality is gradually corrupted, personality also gradually changed, in the end only this woman survived. A year ago, Jennifer and her boyfriend Jack went on a beach trip together, but they didn't expect that they drove the yacht halfway, then suddenly a big fire broke out. The 2 just jumped into the lifeboat, but unfortunately encountered a storm. The storm was so big that Jennifer kept getting swept up in the water, until she regained consciousness. She was swept up by seawater and swept up a deserted island. Someone got caught up here too. There is also her tour guide named Manuel. They were washed up on a deserted island because in order to survive they must help each other. Manuel grew up in the sea, so his adaptability is extremely good. He always carries a knife and swimming goggles on his body. Water and food are no longer a problem. Jennifer used pandan leaves from the island to build an island shelter. Over time, the 2 also reluctantly adjusted to life on the island. The days of relying on each other also make the relationship between the 2 become more intimate. They even keep each other warm at night, until one day when Manuel was catching fish, he discovered a man seriously injured and in a coma. When he brought this man home, he found out that this man was actually Jennifer's boyfriend. Manuel now had feelings for Jennifer, but faced with this situation, jealousy and helplessness arose in his heart, and Jack on this side is also not very pleasing to Manuel. Since the 2 of them have lived together on the island for such a long time, he feels that Manuel and Jennifer must have been up to something. Very quickly Jack began to deliberately tease Manuel. One day, he used the lighter he brought on his body to light a fire, because Jennifer and Manuel have been on the island for so long, but they can't use fire. All they eat is raw fish. Suddenly seeing fire, of course they are very happy. They were curious to ask how Jack did. As a result, Jack took the opportunity to mock Manuel once. Manuel is very angry but can't do anything, but not only did Jack not stop, but while he was not here, Jack split the accommodation in 2 to separate him and Jennifer. This time Manuel really exploded. "I gave you a place to eat and a place to sleep and you are so shameless." So he immediately decided not to provide food for Jack anymore, and as a result, Jack didn't give Manuel fire either. There is no other way. Jennifer only has to choose to side with her boyfriend. However, 3 days have passed, and Jack can't even catch a fish. They could only stay on the shore looking for crabs or shellfish to eat, glaring at Manuel bringing all kinds of fish, shrimp, fish and other rich foods from the sea. So Jennifer gradually felt disappointed in Jack. The woman took a stone and smashed a sea snail. She still has to eat this hard to swallow, and has to eat other things to survive. However, the man over here is eating well. It turned out that this was the 6th day they were wandering on a deserted island. Seeing that Manuel had a fish every day, Jennifer lost her patience with Jack more and more. This makes Manuel extremely happy. Then every time Jack wasn't here, he would give Jennifer some food. However, how can paper cover fire? Jack, after discovering this, his self-esteem was severely attacked, becoming increasingly dissatisfied with this behavior of Manuel. Until one time when Jack found food and returned, he found Manuel burning a fire. Manuel must have secretly used Jack's lighter. This makes Jack extremely angry. The 2 then continue to fight each other. Jack always remembers Manuel's theft. So early the next morning, while Manuel was still sleeping, he stole Manuel's glasses, dived into the sea and caught quite a few fish. When he returned from catching fish, he discovered that Manuel had not come to him to cause trouble and discovered a strange expression on Jennifer's face. He feels something is not right. Under his intense interrogation, Jennifer finally told the truth. It turned out not long before, Manuel discovered that the glasses were stolen, so he was very angry and wanted to kill Jack. Jennifer could not stop him, so she only had to meet Manuel's request. Hearing this, Jack has completely collapsed. Because he was so angry, he grabbed Jennifer's hair and threw it to Manuel's side. He originally thought this would make Jennifer think about her own behavior. However, a few days passed. Jennifer accepted Manuel's good intentions and stayed by his side. This time Jack really lost his way, so he decided to prove himself. This man used something he'd picked up to create a simple swimming goggles. This is the 7th day he's been stranded on this deserted island. Except for him being stranded here, Jennifer and a man, Mr. With this diving goggles, he was able to prove that he can catch fish too, but unexpectedly, Jennifer's guilt towards him turned into resentment. However, during a trip to the sea, Jack accidentally discovered a lifeboat sank to the bottom of the sea, and this lifeboat boat still retains its almost complete shape, as long as they can fix the hole in the boat. This might be the only way for them to leave. Seeing Jack find a boat, Jennifer changed her mind. Take the initiative to apologize to Jack and want to help him repair the boat. But Jack of course did not accept and insulted Jennifer severely. Thenceforward, Jack, besides catching fish, is also repairing boats. Jennifer and Manuel on the surface act like they don't care. But when the boat was about to be repaired, they began to feel bewildered. The two of them didn't want to sit still and wait for death, so they secretly agreed to each other when they had the opportunity to steal the boat to leave Jack alone on the island. Soon the hole in the boat was repaired, and Jack also installed a sail for the boat. Just push it to the sea and he can use the wind to leave this island. But on the day he was about to leave, when he was diving into the sea, gave Manuel and Jennifer a chance. They took advantage of Jack's absence and rushed to give water and food on the boat. Then while loudly cursing Jack, they left this small island, but they don't know that all of this is actually in Jack's plan. It turned out that he had foreseen that they would steal the boat, so the boat was never fixed with certainty. Just after rowing for a while, the hole in the boat will pop out by then. If they don't drown, they will have to return to the island and be hunted by Jack. Jack took the spear and walked towards Manuel. How can Manuel be your opponent right now? Manuel was directly stabbed by Jack's javelin. Then Manuel and Jennifer hurriedly fled into the forest of the island. Jack is like a hunter who has lost his mind in a hurry to chase the two of them. The two had no way to run, so they only risked their lives with Jack. Manuel is now no longer able to resist. Not long after, he died under Jack's javelin. A year later, a fishing boat discovered a bungalow on the sand and Jennifer. She told them everything she had been through and begged for their help. From start to finish she didn't mention that there were other people on the island. When she left here, she saw Jack floating on the sea to catch fish, but she didn't say anything, but also revealed a devilish smile. The red boat is getting further and further away from the island. This is the end of today's story. Thank you for watching.